So the question is there another way to do this? SAFe suggested, and when you see this, you're like, Thomas, this is even more complex than what you just said, right? But what you see here is a picture where there's a lot of stuff behind it. And it's not that bad actually when you have been at the workshops where you learn to understand this a little bit. So let me give you a 2-minute introduction to the ideas here. First of all, there is a team level, and it's just the same stuff. It's Scrum, Kanban, whatever team stuff you're doing. No news there. Then you have the program level, and this is just a container. So you could draw it like this also. This is an idea where you have your teams, your Scrum teams, Kanban teams, and you have these 3 guys at the bottom. They are sort of servant leaders for this group of teams of teams, also called an Agile release train or ART. And what they do is you have product management, the PM, who looks at what we should do. Then you have an architect and a release train engineer. The release train engineer is basically a Scrum master. So sort of the same roles as a Scrum team, just at a bigger fractal scale there. Now, the architect is a bit weird, actually, especially if you read the Agile Manifesto. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about those roles in a bit. But first, the other important thing is that this is not a functional silo. So this is not a department of engineers or business people. You want to have this train be cross-functional. So everybody in there who is needed to create a product is part of that train. So the same cross-functional idea as a Scrum team. So if you have multiple products in your organizations, you would have multiple of these trains. And then this top layer, the idea there is pretty simple too. It just says, instead of funding projects, fund these trains. Fund your products. And that's really cool because then you can start the year by saying, okay, we built an iPhone last year, updated that was pretty cool. Let's build another version next year, but we don't need to know exactly what features you're building. We can postpone the decisions about scope for later. And then we actually get the opportunity to explore and do some of the cool things that you also talked about, Martin. So that's pretty easy to understand, right? That's the basic idea of SAFe. Those 2 things, have a group of teams and fund them instead of projects. But then, how do we make decisions within this group? Is something different there?